Pagazzi hands you a ceramic travel cup. When he then fills to the brim with dark, steamy liquid, the scent is intoxicating. Is there anything else more that I can get for you? Just killing time. I'll be gone for now.
Hopefully you guys can... I wish they'd... Here, let me say this. I wish that they'd done voiceovers for this game, but because they haven't, the way that I've been streaming it is I've been trying to come up with voices for all the different characters. I know some of you guys appreciate that, and maybe some of you could care less, but I'm assuming that all the people that could care less have already left, so that's my assumption. Love some feedback on that.
Alright, Shraddy. Shraddy looks up for you from his work and nods. Hello again, mynheer. Bit busy, but what can I do for you? I'm back for my DVD player. Well, it ain't yours yet, but I've got it right here. Been keeping it warm for you. Now, you got my coffee? Or do you have the 500 Nurian? Yeah, I got that coffee for you.
Ah, thank you.
Shraddy gratefully accepts the coffee, then snaps the lid back and inhales deeply, wiggling his mustache as he processes the scent. Yeah, that's the real stuff, all right. Shraddy gingerly picks up the ancient device from the table and presses it into your hands. The plastic is scruffed and worn, and rattles a bit when you move it. Give her some good use, okay? Alright, thanks, Shraddy.
To the hideout! To read the disc! To read the disc.
Full Metal says I enjoyed the debrief spawn. What game is this? This is Shadowrun. This is a remake of Shadowrun, to be specific. To the safe house.
Pretty sure it's where I need to go. Yeah. To the safe house. Well, one biologist at least likes it. Nobody else, I guess.
Alright, Palm Amsel.
Alright, so this is Decker Kane, by the way. I need to, write down all the voices I use for the different characters, because I forget who's who.
Seems that Amsel has assembled a team in your absence. They stand in a group around the old display that you had Mallet deliver. On their faces you can see excitement and apprehension, curiosity, and dread. Oh, BrewSpy, have you procured a DVD reader? Alright, let's hand him the DVD player. I have it right here. Good. This will only take a moment. Stay a while and listen. Alright, Amsel disappears behind the ancient display. After a few minutes of fiddling with its battered inputs, he reappears, a satisfied look on his face. Everything seems to be functional. The disc should be ready to play. But don't keep us in suspense. Start the damn thing already. BrewSpy went to the trouble of fetching everything. Let him do the honors. Amsel steps back, clearing a path for you to access the antique machine. To the machine! A soft whirring sound fills the air as the ancient DVD player spins the disc up to speed. The scratched LCD display comes to life and a menu fills the screen. Play track 1. The screen goes black and a cheerful digital chiming sound spills out the display speakers. A crackle of static fills the air, coupled with a shrill electronic whine. After a few moments, the display goes live and a disheveled-looking man appears on the screen. His eyes glitter with excitement. The timestamp on the screen is 2034. I'm going to write this down. This may be important. Alright, so number 1 was 20340915. Adrian Vauclair. Hear me. I think we found her. After all this time. First you might. I knew she wasn't dead. His speech is jittery. You can hear the urgency in his voice. She survived the dragonfall. Just as I've always said, I knew it. I knew I was right. The screen explodes into static and the electronic whine in the background sharpens into a needle-like pulse of high-pitched sound. Somewhere in the background, Dante lets out a low whimper. The screen clears, and the excited face is closer to the screen than it was before. The worlds spill out of him a breathless tide. Taking the team into the SOX to retrieve her, the radiation be damned. We will take appropriate precautions, of course, but we must go. Hermie, I think that the body may nearly be as well. Somehow I survived all this time. The screen explodes and static again clears. The figure flickers across the screen. May not be back for some time. Look after Mom, okay? I'm worried about her. And Hermie, stay out of there. I know things are heating up in Berlin. I know you. Student protests, civil uprisings. You'll be in the middle of it, I'm sure. Just stay safe, alright? I'll do my best to do the same. But I don't know what's going to happen when I step into the SOX. I don't know, the SOX. If the fire wing is still a danger, I will put an end to her once and for all. The screen goes black, and the background whine fades away. A moment later, you find yourself deposited back at the menu screen. Alright, so Adrian, some sort of SOX. Let's take notes on the second one, too. This is interesting. It's kind of a mystery. Alright, the screen goes black for a moment. Then a figure appears on the screen. Your late client, Green Winters. Ah, Green Winters is back. Engineer says, I love the voiceovers, easier to follow while eating and such. Well, at least you appreciate it. Anyways, and one biologist. His elbow is planted on the table that he's sitting at. His chin rests on his palm. The other hand is wrapped around a bottle of cheap whiskey. The timestamp on the video reads 2053-1225. So this is many years later. Wow, that is much later. Okay. Green Winners found the message Adrian left me all those years ago. Alright, found the message Adrian left me all those years ago. Got it cleaned up best as I could. Strange hearing his voice again. Paused to take a long pull from the bottle. Good, it's good to hear him, even though I did insist on calling me Hermie. Dr. Adrian Vauclair, the hero of the people, the Dragon Slayer, my brother. He grimaces and rubs his eyes. Hard to believe it's almost been 20 years. Alright, so I'm gonna start recording these DVDs again for me, for Adrian, for whoever might wind up watching them. Every time I do this, it winds up feeling like a waste of time, but I keep doing it anyway, on the off chance that I'll find something important. If I stumble into the clue that leads me to my brother, I know that I'm gonna want it on film. Been doing this for almost 20 years after all, no sense in quitting now. Christ, 20 years. All this time and still no leads. Even all my contacts and my resources. Takes another swig. Speaking of which, my voice is thirsty. Even with my legendary bullheadedness, I've made no progress at all. I haven't turned up a single goddamn thing. Want to hear something funny? Closest I've gotten to a clue is a rumor. Apparently a team emerged from the SOX. And they talk about the SOX again. A while back. Nobody's clear on the date, but get this. He leans into the camera and gives a conspirational wink. Supposedly, they vanished without a trace. Adrian. He upends the bottle, drains it, slams it back down on the table. His eyes are rimmed with red. Not much of a rumor, considering I already know you're gonna be gone, big brother. I live with that every day. Abruptly, Winter leans in forward and reaches for something off screen. The display goes black. A few seconds later, the main menu returns. Shall we continue, or are we gonna read these later? Oh, I have to literally play all of them. Wow, they don't let you walk away from this. Okay. Track 3. Okay. Alright, so number 3. So we've got timestamp on the video is 2054-1012. There's a grinding sound from the DVD tray, and Green Winter's image appears on the screen. There's an eager look on his face. Okay, maybe he found something. Stumbled upon this arrival footage of Fortune Wine's original attack months before the Dragon Fall. Easy to forget how devastating it was. Adrian saved a lot of people by bringing her down. Got all the footage queued up to play, striking now additional comments to follow. The slow whir of the DVD player shifts to a high-pitched whine. A distorted, wavering image blooms into being on the screen. A timestamp in the upper right corner of the screen marks the date, July 6th. Okay, July 6th, 2012. Oh. It's difficult to see what you're seeing at first. The scene is dark, smoky. Telltale flashes of emergency vehicles light flicker on the periphery of the screen. Emergency vehicle lights flicker on the periphery of the screen. The camera pushes in and you can make out two figures standing in a ruined landscape. All at once, the sound cuts in. Again? Alright. Again, for those of you just joining us, we are coming to you live from Strolberg. A few hours ago, the Dragon Fuscherweich launched an unprovoked attack on this Sleeping Hearts mountain town, and you can see the results behind me. Fire, ashes, and blood. More tonight on CNN. We are joined by a survivor of this latest and most horrifying attack. The reporter turns to face a pale man standing behind him. Sir, I understand that you've been through a terrible ordeal. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us tonight. Alright, the camera switches to focus on a middle-aged man with a haunted look in his eyes. He stammers out a reply. Yes, of course. If you could, sir, could you please tell the people at home about your experience of the attack? It was horrible. Just pure chaos. So many people are dead. People I knew. Roasted alive. Or trampled to death trying to escape. My own house was burned to the ground during the attack. My family. We have nothing now. You made all this through the attack, though? Your wife? Your kids? Yeah. We all made it. Thank God. We rode out the attack in a small shelter, me, my wife, and our two daughters. The shelter protected us, but the heat was unbearable. We couldn't have stayed in there much longer than we did. How long will you hold up in there? 3, maybe 4 hours. I don't know. We'd have stayed inside until the heat died down and the screaming stopped. And what happened after that? When it was over, you know, when the air cooled down. The reporter nods. The man continues. We stepped outside. There was nothing left, just smoldering wreckage and this dense cloud of black, oily smoke and the stench in the air. God, that smell. It smelled like roasting meat. There's a long pause. From the tortured look on his face, you can tell that the man is struggling to decide whether or not to continue speaking. Eventually, he does. My girls. They found what was left of their nanny outside. Her body, what was left of it, was slumped against the shelter door. I keep telling myself that I couldn't hear her pounding to get in. But it isn't true. I could. Just couldn't bring myself to open that door. I couldn't risk my family like that. Not for her. Not for anyone. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with us. Yeah. Well, you heard it here. An absolutely chilling account of tonight's attack. Again, the town of Strolberg has been reduced to ash, another victim of the Fire Wing. Stay with us for more up-to-the-minute reporting on Fuscherwein's Reign of Terror. From tonight's CNN. Alright, Green Winners. Back to Winners. Green Winner's face reappears on the screen. Okay, it's time for a new approach. Adrian's a complete dead end. That much is pretty clear by now, so I'm gonna do some digging on Fuscherweich instead. Let's see how this goes. The screen abruptly grows black as the video cuts off. A few moments later, you find yourself returning to the menu screen. Alright, so we have some notes from number 3. Let's read number 4. Yeah, Bobo, we're playing a game. We're playing an RPG.
role-playing game. This is a steampunk game. This is Shadowrun.